Hello, everyone. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for weeks to go over today's topic, and I'm just really excited. I do have a lot of content to go over, so I'm going to go over how you can get rid of chronic symptoms for good. And I know there are many of you out there that have so many issues like mold toxicity, Lyme, Candida, SIBO, digestive issues, sensitivities. So I'm really looking forward to sharing this information with you. Now, with this system is you can say goodbye to endless supplements, strict diets, and avoidance, and discover a natural three-step system that can provide relief from all sorts of chronic symptoms, such as chronic fatigue syndrome, POTS, mast cell activation, any kind of sensitivities that you're dealing with, mold toxicity, long COVID, chronic pain, you name it. This is the solution. So yeah, that's right. There are absolutely no supplements, no detox protocols, and no strict diets. This is a proven method that is shown to reverse chronic symptoms using brain rewiring principles. Yeah, this is science-backed and it's supported. These techniques can help you start feeling like yourself again. So I'm just really excited to dive in today, and I'm streaming on multiple platforms here. And yeah, we've got a great crowd. I'm seeing people jump from all over the country. So just drop a comment below and share where you're tuning in from. It's always exciting to see how far this message is actually spreading. And I'm located in Tennessee. I'm really excited to get started. So yeah. So be sure to grab a paper and pen, because make sure that your sound's on and that you don't have any distractions. Maybe your phone's on airplane mode, because what I'm about to share with you could completely shift the way you think about healing. And not just from sensitivities, but from chronic symptoms in general. Whether you're dealing with food sensitivities, environmental sensitivities, brain fog, fatigue, bloating, or dizziness, this natural three-step system was designed to help. And yes, it's 100% natural and something you can do right from your home. So before jumping in, I just want to make sure that you're set up and that you get the most out of today's training. So grab a notebook and settle in and get ready to take notes, because you definitely do not want to miss. I'm Britney Brooks, and I'm a brain rewiring coach, integrative health practitioner, and someone who's walked the journey of chronic illness and come out on the other side. For years, I've battled severe fatigue, food and environmental sensitivities, and debilitating symptoms that no doctor, no supplement, and no protocol could truly fix. Nobody could help me, but now I know that my chronic illness actually was a result of a series of stressors that actually contributed. So what I experienced was an actual perfect storm. I went through a traumatic relationship, and it was followed by me unknowingly moving into a water damaged building. And this actually set off a cascade of symptoms. It seemed like overnight that I had over 70 symptoms appear. And my nervous system was actually stuck, and it was stuck in survival mode. And I cycled through condition after condition, including multiple chemical sensitivities, food sensitivities, chronic fatigue syndrome, EMF sensitivities, POTS, mast cell activation syndrome, long COVID, you name it. And I was dealing with chronic insomnia, panic attacks, histamine issues, brain fog, heart palpitations, and memory loss so severe that I could barely even remember my name and my own street. So I went through the exhausting merry-go-round of supplements, labs, detox protocols, and I went searching for answers. And so I do know exactly what it's like to feel stuck. And then you only end up with feeling more overwhelmed and discouraged. So yeah, I get it. I lived that exhausting cycle for years. No one could give me any kind of lasting answers. In the middle of my own battle with this chronic complex illness, something inside me shifted, and I became deeply passionate about helping others find answers too. And this passion actually led me to open up my own practice, and I specialized in complex cases like mast cell activation syndrome, Lyme disease, and mold toxicity. And I studied root cause medicine obsessively, learning everything from binding toxins to rotating antifungals to optimizing the detox pathways. But I still wasn't experiencing deep, lasting transformation that I actually knew was possible. And guess what? Neither were my clients. But everything changed when I was introduced to Christian brain rewiring. Within just a few months, my nervous system began to reset, and my symptoms started to lift. and I felt a level of energy, stamina, and resilience that I hadn't experienced in a decade. Of course, the science made sense, and this method is proven. It's a proven method that works, and I was able to develop a deeper connection with Christ that made the process truly transformational. And that's when I realized not only had I healed, but I had found my purpose. And now I help others break free, not through these endless protocols, but through faith-filled, neuroscience-backed strategies. And this is going to help you retrain your brain and reset your physical body. So, as I began to share these methods with my clients, their results began to take off. Many of my clients came to me after battling these chronic complex illnesses, and they were feeling stuck and out of options. But with this work, they began to experience powerful shifts in just a few short weeks. And these tools didn't just transform my life, they're now transforming the lives of thousands of other people that I've been so blessed to support. This is why I'm so passionate about the work. I believe that God has placed healing power within each one of us, and not just for our bodies, but our hearts and minds too. Healing is possible, full recovery is absolutely possible, and I am excited to walk the path with you. So if you're tired of absolutely living in fear and you're tired of trying everything without success, then I'm ready, and you're ready to experience true, lasting transformation, then this masterclass is for you. So I just want you to take a moment to really think back. Was there a time in your life when you could eat whatever you wanted without symptoms? For me, the answer would be yes, but only before my symptoms began in my early 30s. I don't think twice about food or everyday environments. Maybe you could once walk into a grocery store, stroll down the cleaning aisle, or even enter a water-damaged building without any reactions and not even having a second thought. And maybe you could exercise and actually feel energized instead of crashing from exhaustion afterwards. And I know for many of you, these moments feel like a distant memory, but deep down, you still long to do these things. What about playing with your kids, going on vacation, or not planning the whole trip around your symptoms? So really, I just want you to take a moment to reflect. What have you had to avoid or restrict yourself from doing? Or maybe you're stuck doing things you don't want to do just to manage your symptoms. So if you're here, it's likely because you've tried it all. Supplements, detoxes, restrictive diets, endless protocols, and you're still not to where you want to be. Well, this training is for you if you're ready to do all the things again, eat freely, exercise confidently, and make plans without fear, and finally enjoy life again. So if you've done everything, including the supplements, the cleanses, and the restrictive diets, and you still feel like nothing is working, you're not alone. So if you're craving the freedom to eat what you want, live your life without constantly worrying about your symptoms or setbacks, or maybe you're just looking for a clear step-by-step solution to finally overcome the chronic symptoms and sensitivities that's been holding you back. And if that sounds like you, you're in the right place. So my promise to you is that you're going to learn a natural 3-step system that can help you eliminate these chronic symptoms like food and environmental sensitivities in as little as 6 weeks. And the best part, you can do it without relying on supplements, labs, or restrictive diets. And this is absolutely natural. So you're going to be able to eat the food you want, no more reacting to every single bite, and having symptoms like brain fog, nausea, bloating, or fatigue. You won't have to obsess over the ingredients or avoid restaurants or stick with your 2 or 3 safe foods. Food will become enjoyable again, like they used to. And with this, you're going to have energy, clarity, and stability to truly be present with the people you love. And there's going to be no more canceling plans, lying on the couch while life passes you by, or feeling like a burden. You'll be able to go on family outings, play with your kids, travel with your spouse, or just have fun without worrying about symptoms crashing in. This is going to give you back more than your health. It will give you back the relationships and the moments that matter to you most. So now you're going to have more energy to do the things that you love, and you'll finally have the energy that you've been craving. No more crashing after simple errands or physical activity. No more spending your days stuck on the couch watching life pass you by. You're going to be able to run, ride your bike, go hiking, swimming, boating, and do all the fun things that you've been wanting to do. And as your brain and nervous system begin to heal, you're going to be able to move through your day with confidence. You're going to be able to work full-time again and enjoy time with your family, travel, exercise, and you can just do all the things that you absolutely love. And you don't have to worry about paying for it later. So this will ultimately build back your strength and confidence back into your life. So yeah, I just want to let you know, I know what that's like because I used to be there. And now I run every single morning and I feel more energized now, even afterwards. So it's truly amazing what's possible when your brain is no longer stuck in survival mode. Just like Cheryl, she is one of my past clients, and I just want to share a little bit of hope with you guys. Just a quick testimony, because when she first came to me, she was dealing with all sorts of health challenges. So she was living in constant survival mode. She was suffering from all sorts of debilitating symptoms. She had chronic fatigue syndrome, which left her completely drained and unable to get through the day. She had multiple chemical sensitivities, histamine intolerance, which meant she was reacting to everything in her environment, from cleaning supplies to perfumes to seemingly harmless foods that triggered overwhelmed symptoms. And at her worst, she could only tolerate 3 foods: chicken, rice, and carrots. She also had POTS, which actually was miserable. It made her stand, and when she was standing up, she'd feel like she had run a marathon. And mast cell activation syndrome, which added unpredictable flares to the mix. And her brain fog and memory issues became so difficult for her to focus and hold a conversation that not only that, she suffered from IBS, which left her feeling constantly uncomfortable and anxious about food. She was diagnosed with mold toxicity, Lyme disease, SIBO, Candida, and the list goes on. But now, after implementing the Brain Rewiring 360 method, she says that she's 4 months into the program and she just wants to share her wins, that she has no more fatigue, no chemical sensitivities, no more food intolerances, no mold, no parasites, no hormonal imbalances, that every single symptom that once ruled her life is completely eliminated. But the best part is that she has stable energy, clear thinking, working full time, and she can sleep through the night. And I know that Cheryl, she's really happy. So yeah, this is just so exciting. So as we walk through these slides, I just want to pause and really reflect. Maybe you're someone who can barely get off the couch or out of bed, and maybe even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. And things like cooking, showering, or getting dressed might feel like too much. You may not be at the extreme end of the spectrum, but if this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many of the people that I work with are in this very place, and maybe like them, you feel misunderstood, like nobody truly gets you. I get it because I've been there. Maybe your family doesn't understand why you cancel plans, and maybe your doctors are saying that it's all in your head, or that your labs keep coming back normal, even though you know something is deeply off. You probably even gathered a collection of diagnoses that don't even add up, leaving you feel stuck and confused. If any of this resonates, you're in the right place. But here's the deal. It's not your fault. Here's the real truth. There is no amount of supplements, expensive lab testing, or restrictive diets that can truly get you free from this. It's not the real path to healing. And the truth is, the real issue, it isn't supplements, lab tests, or restrictive diets. They truly won't heal you from these sensitivities and symptoms because your limbic system has become impaired. So I'm going to actually talk to you about what the limbic system is. Don't worry, we won't get too technical, but it's important to understand that the limbic system is a group of brain structures that plays a central role in how we process emotions, pain, memory, and cognitive function. It also influences hormones, the autonomic nervous system, and the sleep-wake cycle, and how we respond to fear, anxiety, and basically it's actually the control center for your body's emotional and physiological responses. Research shows that the limbic system is deeply connected to motivation, focus, hunger, attention, and the fight-flight response. So when the limbic system is functioning well, everything runs smoothly. But when it becomes impacted by chronic stress, trauma, or ongoing triggers, things can start to fall apart. And that's when you might experience a wide range of symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, headaches, memory issues, difficulty concentrating, anxiety, depression, and increased sensitivities to food, sounds, lights, chemicals, EMFs, and even supplements. You might also struggle with body temperature issues or heart rate fluctuations, blood pressure changes, and digestive problems. And you may be wondering, why does this happen? Because when the limbic system is out of balance, it keeps sending stress signals throughout the entire body. And it'll pump out cortisol, adrenaline, and norepinephrine. And over time, this actually leads to widespread dysregulation. So when your limbic system becomes dysfunctional, it can throw off nearly every system in the body because it's the control center of how your body interprets and responds to stress, emotions, and even physical symptoms. So if the limbic system gets stuck in chronic stress loop, it can trigger an overproduction of these stress hormones, and the chain reaction can lead to chaos all throughout the body, resulting in a widespread symptoms that affect multiple systems all at once. So how does it become impaired in the first place? Well, it's rarely one traumatic event that does it. It's usually a buildup of chronic stressors over time, and these can include things like childhood trauma, extremely heavy emotional trauma, overworking, any kind of ongoing financial hardship, surgeries, accidents, and even how we perceive and internalize everyday life challenges. Our perception plays a major role here too. It's not just about what happened, but it's actually how the brain interpreted it. For example, speaking in front of a crowd may be no big deal for a person, while it can feel terrifying and overwhelming for another. Everyone's brain responds to stress differently, and often we don't recognize how many layers of stress we're carrying until our nervous system becomes dysregulated. So, in my own case, I originally believed that mold exposure was the root of all my symptoms, and it definitely played a role. But then I asked myself, well, why didn't I get sick as a child? I grew up in a moldy home and went to a moldy school. Why did my symptoms actually appear in my late 30s? Well, it's because of what's called the perfect storm. When you have multiple stressors build up over time, it's actually an accumulation of stressors that actually cause limbic system impairment. So it's actually something called the allostatic load, which refers to the wear and tear on the body that builds up when you're exposed to repeated stressors over time. So just think of your nervous system like a stress bucket. Like every physical, emotional, or environmental stressor you encounter adds to that bucket. So things like trauma, lack of sleep, infections, negative thought patterns, relationship issues, injuries, viruses, and even chemical and mold exposure, they all contribute. And eventually, there's absolutely no relief or regulation, and your stress bucket overflows, leading to symptoms like chronic fatigue, anxiety, brain fog, sensitivities, or chronic illness. So understanding allostatic load is key to healing because it explains why it's not just one big stressor that knocks us down. It's an accumulation over time, and healing begins when we start to empty that bucket one layer at a time. So for me, the stressors added up over time until my body just simply couldn't take it no more. And I went through a deeply toxic relationship with a narcissist, which left me feeling emotionally drained and constantly walking on eggshells. And at the time, I didn't have a strong relationship with Christ that I do now, but I became dependent on Xanax just to cope with all the things going on. And on top of that, my mom also struggled with chronic pain and fatigue all throughout my life. So I grew up watching illness and survival mode living play out in my life every single day. And all of these stressors, emotionally related, they just filled up my stress bucket. And once it overflowed, my limbic system became so dysregulated that even normal things like food, light, smells, noise, EMFs, chemicals, it began to feel life-threatening. And that's what happens when your brain gets stuck in a chronic stress loop. It starts misfiring and labeling everything as danger until you step in and you do something about it. So what do we do? Well, the good news is I want to go over the polyvagal theory, which is something Dr. Stephen Porges developed. It's a powerful framework for understanding how your nervous system responds to stress. And that's why you might feel stuck in patterns like anxiety, brain fog, chronic fatigue, or just shut down. Now, this theory actually explains how the vagus nerve, and it's the main nerve in your parasympathetic nervous system, how it plays a central role in how your body responds to perceived safety or threat. According to the polyvagal theory, your nervous system has three main states. Ventral vagal, which is where you're safe and social. This is where you feel calm, grounded, connected, and capable. Healing actually happens here. And then you have the sympathetic fight-flight. This is when your body's alarm system, you may feel anxious, wired, irritable, or overwhelmed. And then there's the dorsal vagal freeze shutdown. This is where you feel numb, fatigue, foggy, or disconnected. It's your system's last resort when it feels completely overwhelmed. And when you've experienced chronic stress, trauma, or illness, your nervous system can get stuck in survival mode, cycling between fight, flight, and freeze responses. And that's what drives many of the symptoms that people are dealing with, from sensitivities, fatigue, pain, depression, shutdown. So in our Brain Rewiring 360 program, we help you understand these patterns, and most importantly, we teach you how to shift out of them. And we give you practical Christ-centered tools to rebuild a sense of safety in your body, calm down that stress response, and train your brain to respond differently to life instead of panic. And when you regulate your nervous system through these daily rewiring exercises and through exposure training, it will help you restore and connect the connection between your mind, body, and spirit. So I want to break down simply using the lens of the fight, flight, freeze response, these key components of the nervous system stress response. So again, it's rooted in the polyvagal theory, and we teach this a lot in the Brain Rewiring 360 program. So when you're stuck in fight or flight, your body is in a heightened stress state. You may feel anxious, irritable, angry, tired but wired. Your heart rate may begin to get elevated and digestion slows down, and it's hard to focus or stay calm. You might talk fast, feel agitated, or feel like you're always on edge. This state is like having your foot on the gas pedal 24/7. Now on the flip side, there's the freeze mode. It's like your system is pulling the emergency brake. You might feel completely shut down, fatigued, foggy, spaced out, or emotionally disconnected. You may even feel very depressed, numb, or stuck in bed, and unable to motivate yourself or be connected with people that you love. And this state can actually feel especially heavy and isolating. And many people actually swing between the two extremes, wired and restlessness one moment, and then foggy and shut down the next. So these aren't bad states, they're just protective mechanisms designed by your brain to help you survive. But they become a problem when you get stuck there. We don't want to get stuck in one of these states. So the goal isn't to eliminate these states entirely, it's to help your brain and body return to the regulated state known as social engagement, or rest and digest. In this balanced state, you feel calm, present, joyful, connected, clear-minded, and energized. Your digestion improves and your thinking is sharp, and you're able to truly engage in life. And that's exactly what our program walks you through: how to balance your limbic system, rewire these stress responses, and return to a regulated, grounded place so you can experience real healing mentally, emotionally, and physically. So you can take all the supplements, restricted diets, and endless labs, but they will not get you there alone. If they could, you would likely still not be stuck. But when you address the root, the limbic system, you will unlock the path to lasting relief. So this is actually the rest and digest state. So when your limbic system is balanced and you go back into, this is the calm mode. This is when you do this, you begin to experience relief from chronic symptoms and sensitivities. And you return to a more peaceful, regulated state called social engagement and rest and digest. In this state, you're going to feel grounded and connected and present. Your digestion improves and your mind becomes clearer and energy returns, and you can feel joy and you can access all these positive emotions. And this is especially that deep spirit-led joy that comes from walking closely with Christ. So the truth is, these supplements and these strict diets and labs are just simply not going to balance the limbic system. And that's why a lot of us practitioners, we get stuck because we can't help people, because it's not a problem. You don't have a supplement deficiency. You have to balance your nervous system. And so, yeah, this is great news, because you don't need a dozen of protocols or endless trial and error to heal. There's a much simpler way to break free from these chronic symptoms, and in this training, we're going to walk you through this step by step. And you're going to learn today, what you're going to learn is that it isn't guesswork. This is absolutely a proven system that has helped countless people reclaim their health, and it's becoming so effective that many forward-thinking medical practitioners are actually starting to use these principles even before introducing any other intervention. And I know for myself that that's exactly what I do, and I'm going to show you exactly how it works. So if you're someone who likes to take notes, just go ahead and get that paper and pen, and I want you to remember what we're about to recover. Don't hesitate to drop your questions or comments along the way. Yeah, so the truth is, the key to your success lies in this simple, proven 3-step system. And I'm just going to walk you through all of it in this presentation. The system is going to help you do things that you may have only dreamed of lately, like getting back to going outside to playing with your kids, maybe going to their baseball games or teaching them. You can even have the energy to teach them to ride a bike. Maybe you're not quite there yet, but you will be. And you'll actually have the energy to return to the gym, go for morning walks or jogs, and finally enjoy social outings again. Just imagine visiting a friend's house and eating whatever you want without fear or symptoms. And the best part, I'm going to show you how to do this. And even if you already feel like you've tried absolutely everything, maybe you feel like you've tried every supplement, every protocol, and every elimination diet. So yeah, if you feel like you've been through it all, this is the key to your success. And I can share this with you because I've lived it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So as you guys know, I'm Brittany Brooks. Some of you guys may already know me. Welcome. I'm the founder of Brain Rewiring 360, and I specialize in helping people break free from chronic symptoms like fatigue, sensitivities, anxiety, depression, any kind of digestive issues, and any kind of like ongoing symptoms and all the limitations that all that brings. And I've actually had the honor of helping thousands of clients through this proven step-by-step recovery process. And it's been absolutely incredible to watch so many get their lives back. And I'm now working full-time as a brain rewiring coach and helping thousands of practitioners all over the world with clients that are stuck with chronic health challenges. But beyond my credentials, I bring something else to the work, my story. And I've walked through years of extreme health struggles. So as you guys know, I had dozens of strange symptoms, but now I get to help others find freedom and healing too. And I say this humbly because God is using my story as a testimony to help others. I was constantly bouncing back between fight, flight, and freeze. Some days I felt wired and exhausted, heart racing, very anxious and unable to sleep. And other days I was just completely shut down, disconnected, brain fog, and too tired to function. But the good news is I did find my way to brain rewiring, and I finally addressed the root cause, which was my overactive stress response. And this changed everything. That's exactly why I do what I do now. Because if I can come back from all of that, so can you. So yeah, this is amazing. So I just want to let you guys know that I did try everything, and this is some of the things that didn't work. I spent well over $100,000 on every possible approach, conventional, holistic. I saw dozens of doctors. I was prescribed antidepressants. I ran countless lab tests. I got referred to specialists, rheumatologists, neurologists, immunologists, infectious disease experts, GI doctors, psychiatrists. The list goes on. You name it. Eventually, I went down the functional medicine path too. And I saw naturopaths, integrative doctors, mold doctors, and more. I saw a lot of shoemaker doctors. And over the years, I tried nearly every single healing method out there. I went all in, hoping that anything would finally work. And I did all the detox protocols, the daily infrared saunas, dry brushing, intense binding protocols, cholestyramine, tried to flush out the toxins. I followed candida cleanses, SIBO treatments, rotated the antifungals, and then I even tried, the list goes on and on and on. I even tried like mold protocols, parasites, heavy metals, and Lyme, and I did lymphatic massage, detox, juicing, fasting. So none of that stuff worked, and the truth is you can only be doing everything right for your body and still not getting better if you're not addressing the root cause. So you can take all the supplements that you want, you can do everything by the book, but completely overlooking what's happening in the brain and the nervous system. And that's when you can start to shift things, because when you balance your nervous system, all of the symptoms will start to fade. So this is the things that didn't work. And again, the perfect storm that led to my limbic system impairment. I'll briefly go over this. I kind of touched on it in one of the other slides, but I'm just going to go over this briefly, that it doesn't just happen overnight, and it's not likely just one thing. Because in my case, it was a result of years of stressors that added up. So it was emotional trauma as well as physical stressors, layer after layer, until my nervous system just could not cope anymore. So some of the things that I was doing that was adding to my bucket was I was overworking. In college, I was constantly pushing past my limits, and I wasn't even getting proper sleep. There was many nights that I'd stay up night after night. And I went through an extremely toxic relationship with a narcissist, went through a divorce, we were in court for years, and it was exhausting. And I unknowingly moved into a water damage building at that time, and I was unknowingly exposed to mold and mycotoxins. And at the same time, I lost my beloved cat, and then I finally lost my mother to COVID, and then I and my daughter both developed long COVID symptoms. So this is kind of an example of what limbic system impairment looks like, and it's definitely not all in your head. It's a very real brain-based response to relentless overload. And even though I'm now a sought-out expert in this field, I do say that humbly, but what I've walked through has given me the depth of experience that no certification ever could. But it wasn't always like this. My health began to unravel slowly at first, then all at once. So when I developed all these bizarre symptoms, like the extreme fatigue and brain fog and chemical sensitivities, I may have looked fine on the outside, but on the inside, I was absolutely falling apart. And I did try everything. I tried all of the supplements, the protocols, but nothing worked. And in fact, the more I kept trying, the worse I would get. And every supplement seemed to trigger a new reaction. And every solution actually left me more depleted and more discouraged. And eventually I was diagnosed with a list of conditions such as mold illness, Lyme disease, mast cell activation syndrome, POTS, chronic fatigue syndrome, and long COVID. And I even had that dreaded HLA gene that supposedly made it impossible for you to detox mold. And so I moved into this brand new safe home, and this was the tipping point. Now I felt worse than ever. The VOCs made me react to everything even more. I broke out daily into rashes, even if I was near anything new. Anything new was absolutely off limits. I was exhausted and I felt completely drained. I had tried everything. And I got rid of everything. I had brand new stuff, which made me react more because I was told to throw away all my things, to isolate and avoid people. And you know what? I was just getting sicker. Eventually, I hit a wall, and something inside me knew that recovery could not be this complicated, that there had to be a better way. And that's when things began to shift. I stopped chasing the next supplement or protocol, and I started rewiring my brain instead. And that's when everything began to change. And once I started with this brain rewiring and I invited Christ into the process, I began to see more progress in just a few weeks than I had seen in the past 5 years of anything else that I had tried. And I really couldn't believe it. I was really excited. I went all in and I began using what I learned to help all my clients, and their results started to take off too. A couple of months later, everything changed. I wasn't reacting to every little thing in the environment. I was gaining healthy weight again. I was sleeping through the night, and I was eating all the foods that I was forced to avoid. And in fact, I could even walk into any building without reacting to mold, and my digestion was working optimally again. And I even started running and doing all the things that I used to love. So this isn't just about me anymore. God has brought me to the other side, and now I'm able to help others recover. And on the left here is Angela. She says she has more energy. She's able to sleep through the night. She has no more heart palpitations. She can eat whatever she wants. And in the middle here is Andrea C. She says that 6 months ago, she suffered from chronic fatigue syndrome. She had severe food sensitivities and was overwhelmed with anxiety and depression. She says that even the smallest amounts of EMFs made her feel sick, and that she felt most days were spent on the couch. She could barely function. But since she started implementing the programs, she can now eat whatever she wants, and there's no longer taking any supplements. And best of all, she does not react to EMFs and lives a normal life again. Now on the right here, we have Pam T. She says that she can now wear perfume, can light candles, and doesn't react to laundry detergent anymore. And she can now live a full life without any symptoms whatsoever. And she's 100% healed. And just to be clear, supplements, detox protocols, and restricted diets will not get rid of your symptoms or your sensitivities. Again, the limbic system is the part of the brain that processes threat and emotion, and you can take all the supplements followed by strict diets. You can run every lab test imaginable, but if your limbic system is dysfunctional, your symptoms will persist. Now, they may shift or change, but they won't truly resolve until you retrain the brain. But once the limbic system starts to heal, the body follows. Symptoms do start to fade, and it's not because you found the perfect supplement, but it's because your brain finally realizes that it's safe. And this is the real path to lasting healing. But I want you to know that because I've walked this path and have now been blessed to watch so many people transform their lives with this program, I know you can too. You could get back to your healthy and happy self again. So if I can do it, you can do it. Because once you heal and retrain your limbic system through these Christ-centered brain rewiring techniques, your body can recover in ways that supplements and diets can't reach. It reaches the root cause of chronic symptoms, something that these supplements and diets alone just can't touch. So when the limbic system is stuck in survival mode, the body remains on high alert. So no matter how clean your environment is or how perfect the protocol is, when you begin to heal and retrain the brain, especially through faith-based, Christ-centered approach, true transformation happens. And it's not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually too. Just like Amy's story, it's powerful. She went through feeling stuck to thinking clearly again. She's able to eat freely. She looks forward to the future. And it wasn't just about symptom relief. It was about healing from the inside out and addressing the root cause. And now I want to share with you 3 breakthroughs that I've had along the way. So breakthrough number 1 is avoidance will not restore your health. And this is one of the biggest turning points in my healing journey, was that realizing that avoidance was actually keeping me stuck. I spent years trying to escape the triggers of mold, chemicals, EMFs, and even people and places that I once loved. But all that avoiding was actually reinforcing to my body and my mind that I wasn't safe. And it was keeping my limbic system on high alert. And when your brain thinks that you're in danger, your body can't heal. Healing doesn't begin until I stopped running and started retraining my brain to feel safe again. Now, avoidance might feel protective in the moment, but over time, it only deepens the fear loop. When your nervous system is dysregulated, your body becomes hyper-reactive to things that normally wouldn't be a threat. So the goal isn't to avoid more, it's about building resilience. And that's what finally changed everything. And the more you try to control your symptoms, the more they control you. Think about it. Before you realize what's happening, you've built your life around avoidance. You stop going to restaurants, skip holiday trips, and avoid movie theaters because you're afraid of feeling dizzy or brain fogged, or maybe reacting to the EMS from the projector screen, or maybe even the popcorn. But I remember feeling so foggy that I couldn't even follow a movie. And I wasn't even able to swim because of the chemicals in the pool. And at one point, I couldn't even be near my own daughter because I was reacting from her hair dye. Yes, her hair dye. She had to sleep at the opposite end of the house. I was avoiding EMFs. We wired our home, painted all the rooms black, conductive paint, and we were trying to block off the electromagnetic fields. And I was forced to sleep in a Faraday cage. So yeah, removing the triggers can give you temporary relief, but it's just not sustainable. You can't stay locked inside your house, scared of cell phones, chemicals, food, or people. And that's not living. Avoidance keeps you stuck in survival mode. And the truth is, we weren't made to live in fear. There's a better way forward. And healing starts when you begin to retrain the brain and step out of that fear bubble. You can try to step out of the bubble and go for a short walk, spend time on your phone, or visit your friend's house with Wi-Fi, hoping that maybe this time your body can handle it. But then what happens is the fatigue crashes in, and the buzzing and the dizziness return even stronger than before. And if you're like me, and I'm sure you've tried that, you avoided the EMS or the activity for so long, only to try again to feel worse. Yep, I've been there too. And what happens? You retreat right back into that bubble, convinced that you pushed yourself too far, feeling defeated and discouraged, and even more isolated than before. You stop using technology, stop going to places that you love, and you stop doing the things that once brought you joy. And just to avoid triggering symptoms. And before you know it, you're not just avoiding EMFs or conserving energy, you're avoiding life. But the reason you keep reacting, whether it's EMFs, chemicals, foods, or even light activity, it's not because the environment is unsafe. It's because the root issue has not been addressed, your limbic system. This is part of the brain that acts like the threat detector. When it becomes impaired or overactive from chronic stress or trauma, it can start misfiring, sending danger signals even when you're actually safe. And that's why you can't just manage your symptoms or avoid triggers forever. You have to retrain the limbic system itself. Until you rewire that part of your brain, your body will keep reacting because it still believes that it's under threat. So true lasting results will begin when you actually address the source, and that's the limbic system. And it's not always things in the environment that's the problem. It's how your brain is interpreting it. So EMFs, chemicals, mold, it can certainly be toxic in high amounts. But the way your body is reacting to them now is often far more intense than the actual threat. You used to tolerate these things just fine, and the issue isn't that the environment changed, it's that your limbic system became hypersensitive and began treating everyday things and exposures as life-threatening. And your body is stuck in a survival response, constantly scanning for danger. So while the symptoms feel very real, the underlying cause is a misfiring brain, not necessarily a toxic world. Healing starts when you teach your brain that you are safe again. So fear and negative thinking patterns are also an example of what triggers the fight, flight, and freeze response, and this can weaken your immune system. So when you actually live in strict avoidance, you avoid the foods, environments, and everyday activities, it can quickly spiral into more negative thought loops. So I know that many of you guys out there can relate to that. Maybe you found yourself thinking, why can't I just go to that birthday party? Or will I ever be able to eat what I want again? Or will I ever feel normal? And these thoughts aren't just discouraging, they actually fuel the stress response even more, flooding your body with cortisol, adrenaline, keeping your system stuck in this survival mode. And the chronic stress does more than make you feel anxious. It actually weakens your immune system, making it harder for your body to defend against things like viruses, toxins, or past infections. This is actually why so many people suddenly become symptomatic with things like Lyme, Candida, SIBO, even if those infections were maybe doormat or handled in the past. Because it's not always the infection that got worse, it's the limbic system got overwhelmed and your body lost the resilience that it once had. But the good news is when you calm and retrain the limbic system through Christ-centered brain rewiring, you can actually shift out of that stress state. Your immune system will start to work optimally again, detox pathways will open up, and your symptoms like bloating, sensitivities, and chronic fatigue, they just simply begin to fade. And this is exactly what happened for Beth. She came to me severely restricted, underweight, and reactive to everything. But after retraining her brain, she's now out eating with her friends, attending her kids' games, and using her favorite products again. She no longer has to bring her own meals everywhere she goes. And this is what freedom looks like when you heal the brain first. Beth came to me completely depleted, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. She was severely fatigued and barely could get out of the bed some days. She was reacting to almost every single thing around her. She tried everything from functional medicine, protocols, restrictive diets, and stacks of supplements, and nothing was giving her lasting relief. She felt trapped in her own body, unable to work, unable to enjoy life, and overwhelmed by fear. But everything changed when she started addressing her dysfunctional limbic system through Christ-centered brain rewiring. As her brain began to calm, so did her body. Her fatigue is now gone, her digestion is improved, and she finally stopped reacting to everything around her. Beth is out enjoying meals with her friends, wearing her favorite perfume again, and using normal household products, and also attending church and community events freely. She doesn't even have to pack these emergency meals or plan her day around her symptoms anymore. Beth is finally living a full life because she's no longer stuck in survival mode. And this is the kind of healing that can happen. And when this happens, when you heal your brain, your body, the physical body follows. Now, the second breakthrough that I had was that you don't need endless supplements or lab tests to fully heal. Now, jot this one down because this was a big turning point for me. I was just talking to someone recently who mentioned that she was about to spend another $500 on a mold test. And I said, is that really necessary? We already know that she had mold exposure. So was another test going to really change anything? And she paused and said, you're probably right. But that moment really stuck with me because we get so caught up in chasing more data, needing more results, more proof, when in reality the test often confirms what we already know. And at some point we just have to let go of all these lab results that dictate our peace, our hope, and our next steps. Now, I'm not saying that lab tests are bad. I'm just saying that there's a good time for them, but they shouldn't become a crutch. For me, I just simply couldn't tolerate the supplements. I was way too sensitive. And most of the time, they made me a whole lot worse. And I found so many others in the same boat, spending thousands on protocols, only to feel like they're just really getting nowhere. And if that's you, you're not alone. So, yeah, some protocols might have a place. And yes, always talk to your doctor if you're on medications. But here's the truth. With proper implementation of brain rewiring and neuroplasticity, your body can begin to heal in ways that supplements and lab tests just can't simply touch. And that's the breakthrough. So let's talk about brain rewiring, also known as neuroplasticity. These terms are used interchangeably and for good reason, because neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to form and reorganize synaptic connections, especially in response to new experiences, learning, or even after injury. In simple terms, your brain isn't stuck. It can change, and that's the best news of all. Many people experience incredible symptom relief from brain rewiring alone. And I've seen countless individuals go through this process and watch long-standing symptoms just go away, just from the brain retraining practices. Now, here's why. Because when you're stuck in fight, flight, or freeze mode, your body is constantly in a state of stress and inflammation. But when you begin to shift your thoughts and reactions, when you create new, healthier thinking patterns, your brain starts to calm and your body follows. So we can't always control what happens in life, but we can control how we respond. And the way we respond, especially through our thoughts, can either fuel sickness or create healing. And that's the power of neuroplasticity. It's not just about what's happening around you, it's about what's happening within you. So this is really good news. So whatever you constantly focus on, good or bad, it gets wired into your brain. And that's how neuroplasticity works. And when your thoughts are centered around worry, fear, or negativity, it's really easy to slip into that chronic stress state. But this actually just fuels the fight, flight, freeze response, and it floods your body with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. And over time, this stress chemistry can actually affect nearly every single system in the body, and it can trigger a wide range of physical symptoms. But on the flip side, when you intentionally focus on positive thoughts and emotion, things like joy, peace, and gratitude and faith, your brain starts to release the feel-good chemicals, which is dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. And this actually helps you regulate your mood, and it calms down your nervous system, and it shifts your brain out of survival mode. And as that happens, your limbic system begins to normalize and your symptoms begin to fade. So here's the question to reflect on. Are you wiring in faith or fear? Positivity or negativity? Is your brain working for healing or against it? So just to be clear, this isn't about pretending that everything's fine. It's about intentionally training your brain to shift towards peace, hope, and safety, because that's where true healing begins. Now, you may be thinking, well, if I just think positive, then my symptoms are just going to go away. Well, It's not that easy. But the good news is our program does go over specific exercises that helps calm down the stress response so you can get out of the stress state and your limbic system can heal. And most people don't even realize, my past self included, that their own thoughts are directly contributing to their symptoms. The mind, body, and brain-gut connections are real. So when your thoughts are filled with fear, worry, and negativity, your brain interprets that as a real threat. And when that fight, flight, freeze response gets activated, you're going to get all the symptoms. So it's really important that you do recognize this. And we do. When Tammy started the brain rewiring process, she had been struggling with debilitating symptoms for months after a viral illness. She was dealing with the classic pot symptoms, such as low energy, dizziness, and a racing heart just from standing up. And on top of that, she had intense brain fog that made it nearly impossible to focus, think clearly, or carry on a conversation. Any attempt to exercise or even walk around too much would leave her crashing for days. She had tried multiple natural protocols, supplements, and treatments, but nothing brought real or lasting relief. She ran a successful business that she loved, but at one point, she was even convinced that she might not ever be able to work again. And that's when she decided to go all in with the brain rewiring. She let go of the endless protocols and started focusing on retraining her brain. And within weeks, the fog began to lift and her crashes became less frequent. Just a few months later, she was sleeping through the night, thinking clearly, and showing up in her business again, fully functioning and symptom-free. The good news is today she's back doing what she loves to do without any kind of setbacks or crashes, and she definitely credits that transformation to finally addressing the root cause, which was her brain. And this leads me to my third breakthrough, that brain rewiring targets the root cause. Most people focus only on the physical part of healing, trying diet after diet, chasing new supplements, or jumping from one protocol to the next. But that's just not, that's just one piece of it. That's not the total picture. God designed us as three-part beings, body, mind, and spirit. And all three need to be addressed. The body is where we feel the symptoms, the fatigue, the pain, the inflammation, the sensitivities. It's our physical vessel, and yes, it needs care. But sometimes we make it more complicated than it needs to be. We obsess over the perfect food or the cleanest product while ignoring the deeper cause. So this is so important because 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, "So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it for the glory of God." And you can eat all the cleanest diet that's in the world, but if you're filled with fear and stress about every single bite, and your body still doesn't feel safe enough to heal, you should honor your body, but don't idolize it. And then the spirit. And the spirit is your direct connection to God. It's where peace lives, even when life is hard. And when you're spiritually grounded, you're more resilient. You walk in truth and not fear. You live from rest, not striving. For example, Christina once believed she'd never heal. And when she began to spend time with the Lord each morning, speaking truth over her day, asking Him for peace, her spirit grew stronger, and so did her health. Her perspective shifted, and her hope was restored. So it's important that you don't leave out anything. Now, the mind, your thoughts, emotions, and decisions is where healing can accelerate or stall. Negative thinking patterns, fear, and constant symptom tracking keeps your brain stuck in a fight or flight mode. But God calls us to renew our minds and takes our thoughts captive. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Example, if every time you feel a symptom, your mind spirals into, "Oh, what if this means I'm getting worse?" Or it actually reinforces fear pathways in the brain. But when you catch that thought and speak faith instead, God is healing me, that this is part of the process, you're going to create new, healthier neural pathways. And this is just so exciting because we aren't meant to work in isolation. All three parts are deeply connected. So this is so. And just like Trisha M., she says that she suffered from debilitating symptoms that kept her bedbound, And she had chronic fatigue, dizziness, heart palpitation, and severe food sensitivities. And nothing that she tried worked, but everything changed when she started working on her mind and spirit. And now, through Christian brain rewiring, she's fully healed and living a full life again. Praise the Lord. And these are the kind of wins that we see over and over. And now I'm excited. I'm going to be going into the process now. So I'm excited to walk you through the 3-step system I personally use to overcome chronic symptoms and sensitivities, including food reactions, sensitivities to environments like EMFs, mold, and even chronic fatigue. And this method is rooted in brain rewiring and nervous system regulation, and it's helped countless others find freedom in just a few short weeks. So the step 1 that we go through in our program is awareness. So you'll become aware of the negative neural pathways and belief patterns that are likely keeping you stuck in survival mode. And these are the thoughts and fears and the triggers that have been wired into your brain over months or even years, often without even realizing it. And once you can clearly recognize them, you know exactly what to focus on in the rewiring process. And then the second step is the rewire. Now, we teach you how to actively rewire those patterns using a series of exercises that are taught in the program and other daily techniques that regulate your nervous system. Now, this is where true transformation begins. It starts by calming down that fight, flight, freeze response and lowering the stress hormones like cortisol. And that way, your body begins to shift out of survival mode and into a state where healing actually becomes possible. And now the third step is the reintroduction phase, which is it's where your nervous system becomes more balanced and your symptoms have improved. We're going to guide you through a gentle process of reintroduction. This is where it gets fun. You get to bring foods back in, environments, activities that you've been forced to avoid, relationships, and working full-time again. Basically anything that you may have been avoiding. And you don't have to live in fear anymore. This step is about reclaiming your life and bringing things back in to normalize your life. So whether it's walking into a building that used to trigger you or going out to dinner without that fear of the flare-ups, you're simply going to be enjoying time with your family and friends again, and you'll gradually rebuild confidence and resilience. So in our program, we definitely do not teach avoidance. We teach tolerance and transformation. So this is exciting, and that's the ARR method. And so many people come to me feeling completely hopeless, struggling with a wide range of chronic sensitivities. Just like Candace B, for example, she says that her journey was intense, that she battled lingering viral symptoms like brain inflammation, fatigue, chemical sensitivities, and all sorts of things going on. But now she no longer has POTS and no histamine reactions, and she doesn't even have any fatigue. And she also says that brain rewiring was the missing link. And I truly believe this. I've seen it over and over and over again. And that's why you're here, because deep down, you're ready to break free from chronic symptoms and get rid of them for good. And if you're like me, you do value your time. You're probably tired of wasting your time trying to figure it out. Now you understand that supplements, binders, detox protocols, and all these strict diets alone will not balance the limbic system. So the best way forward is to calm the chronic stress response so that your limbic system can heal. So I've just walked you through a simple, natural 3-step system that has helped so many people eliminate chronic symptoms and sensitivities, sometimes as little as 6 weeks. It can take, we do allow in our program up to 6 months. But in fact, I've actually seen results in just a matter of a few short weeks. But the truth is the old methods don't work. Binders, avoidance, detoxes, endless labs, strict elimination diets, and chasing symptoms, that just doesn't work. And once I've discovered this approach myself, my entire perspective shifted. And so did my health. And if this is new to you, take a second to let that sink in, because the fastest way forward is by calming down the stress response through brain rewiring. And that's exactly what I'm here to help you today, walk you through step by step. So this is a proven method that has helped thousands of people heal and get results from chronic symptoms. And brain rewiring is complex. So when you're rewiring your brain, questions will come up because it's not a straight road. That's why having a coach who's already been through the process is so valuable. And You need someone who understands exactly what you're facing so they can guide you through all the bumps along the way. So reintroducing things like things that you've been avoiding, whether it's food, environments, or social situations, really does have to be done strategically so you don't get a nervous system reaction. And I've seen this happen with people trying to figure it out on their own. But with brain rewiring, it is a simple concept, but it's tough to implement on your own. So we do have coaches at Brain Rewiring 360 that will help you through this process. Now, one of my favorite stories is about a woman named Stacy. She was very hesitant at first about trying brain retraining. And I remember on our first call, she flat out told me that I just don't think I can do all these steps. She was dealing with a lot of overwhelm and anxiety. And she said it was really overwhelming and she didn't think she'd be able to do it. She had tried so many things in the past that didn't work. And she was afraid that this would just be another failed attempt. But I encouraged her just to take the first step. So we decided to do a short session together to walk through the process. And guess what? Within a couple of hours, something clicked. She started doing it and she loved it. We were both laughing, cracking up. And honestly, we were having a blast doing the exercises together. And she told me, this actually feels fun. And I didn't even expect that. So a month later, I got a surprise call from her and she was really happy. She'd been consistent with her brain rewiring practices. And guess what? All of her symptoms had completely gone. And she was back to working full time and feeling better than she had in years. So she said it had been life-changing for her and that she was so happy. And this is the kind of wins that we see in our program. I love it. And here's the truth. Successful people don't waste time asking, how do I do all this by myself? They ask who can help me get there faster and smarter. So think about it. If your car broke down and you're not a mechanic and you're not going to spend weeks trying to fix it on your own just to save a few bucks, you're going to take it to someone who knows exactly what to do and to get it running smoothly again. And this is the same concept that goes for your health. Trying to piece all the pieces together and healing on your own might eventually work, but usually it comes at the cost of time, money, and emotional energy. And time is the most valuable resource that we have. The people who heal the fastest are the ones who find the right guide and follow a proven path. So when it comes to brain rewiring, it is complex and it can feel like navigating a maze blindfolded. Without expert guidance, it's easy to fall into the trap of overdoing it and pushing too hard or past your own limitations or attempting to reintroduce those foods, the environments, or experiences way too soon, which can definitely backfire if you don't know what you're doing, and you can have an even stronger nervous system reaction. Many people unknowingly reinforce the stress response instead of calming it, which only deepens the cycle of symptoms. So reintroducing things such as food, EMFs, mold, chemicals, or anything you just want a normal life and you don't want to worry about all that stuff, then it has to be done in a paced, supportive way. Otherwise, you could risk reinforcing those fear pathways and staying in survival mode, and we just don't want that. So we do have a team of people at Brain Rewiring 360 that can help you, and they know how to spot subtle patterns, provide you the right tools at the right time, and help you shift safely and effectively. This way, healing becomes more sustainable, more efficient, and far less overwhelming when you're not doing it alone. So yeah, I would be delighted to help you on your journey, and this is my passion. So I'm so excited. So in our program, we actually dive deep into the 3-step system that is proven to help people with chronic illnesses. And I just want to dive a little deeper into the 3 steps, with step 1 being awareness. This is where your healing journey begins, by uncovering those thoughts, those beliefs, and the triggers that are likely keeping your brain stuck in a chronic fight or flight phase. And in this phase, you'll start identifying the patterns that have kept you trapped, especially the lies from the enemy. You're going to begin to see the connection between your thoughts and your symptoms, giving you clarity and the power to begin rewriting your story with truth and freedom. So as you walk through this phase in our program, you'll complete 2 milestone assessments that allow us to provide you with personalized feedback and guidance. So milestone 1 is your personalized brain rewiring plan. Here, my team and I will help you map out specific goals based on your symptoms, your needs, and your faith. Whether it's reintroducing whole foods, or maybe it's bringing back pizza and ice cream again, Or perhaps it's walking around the neighborhood without crashing the next day or being able to handle normal environments again without any kind of reaction to chemicals or mold or EMFs. No matter what it is, your plan is going to be tailored specific to your health goals. And milestone 2 focuses on those thought patterns that we call old pattern pathways in our program. You're going to complete a powerful assessment of over 50 common negative thought patterns, and my team and I are going to help you identify the ones that are likely keeping you stuck. From there, we're going to guide you in to replace those with Christ-centered thoughts that actually support your long-term transformation. So your brain is going to learn to associate safety, peace, and joy instead of fear and stress. And this is very powerful. So stage 1 is all about awareness. And while becoming aware of what's keeping you stuck can feel completely overwhelming at first, I get that. But it's also going to be a breakthrough that makes your true healing actually possible. And this is where you begin to take back your power. And you'll have, with this, you're going to have clarity and the tools to actually move forward. So step 2 is the rewire phase, and this is where the real transformation begins. In this phase, you're going to start implementing our Christ-centered brain rewiring exercises along with a daily roadmap designed to calm down the chronic stress response, especially that fight, flight, freeze response. And as you follow this process, you're going to be actually building new, healthy neural pathways. Through consistent practice, you're going to retrain your brain to just respond differently to stress. And over time, this quiets down the constant state of alert that fuels the symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, and food sensitivities. Now, as part of this milestone, you're also going to complete and submit a personalized version of the 7-step exercise. We'll review it and give you feedback, helping you tailor the process to fit your specific needs. Now, with each repetition, you will begin to feel it. Your symptoms will start to ease, your sleep will improve, and you'll start feeling more grounded and an overall sense of calm. And that brings us to stage 3. And this is where we shift from avoidance to reintroduction. The old way of coping often meant avoiding everything that triggered your symptoms, foods, environments, and social settings, which may have offered some short-term relief, but ultimately that can keep you stuck and further away from your goals. Now, in this stage, we embrace a new way of thinking, gently adding things back into your life that were once completely off limits. This might include expanding your diet, spending time with your friends and family, or starting to move your body again. With these intentional reintroductions, they will send a powerful message of safety to your brain and help it rewire for resilience. Instead of reinforcing fear, you begin reinforcing safety, and that's how you get closer to your long-term goals. So this is amazing. And in this stage, it's where life really starts to normalize. This is the part where most people get really excited about. This is where reintroduction begins, and you'll be lightly, intentionally reintroducing things in your life, whether it's specific foods, social settings, events, work, travel, or physical activity without triggering symptoms. So my team and I are going to teach you how to train your brain using the rewiring tools that you've already been practicing, so these things no longer feel life-threatening. And by this stage, your nervous system will be more resilient and balanced, and you'll have the confidence and strategies to handle reintroduction with ease. You'll also submit your next milestone, which is a step-by-step plan outlining what you want to reintroduce. So this will help you shape this plan to make it realistic, doable, and fully personalized to your healing journey. So whether it's getting back your favorite foods, or if you're being able to exercise again, or working full-time, or traveling, then this is the stage where we want to build towards those wins and gradually bring things back into your life, but very strategically, so we don't get a nervous system reaction. And with the Brain Rewiring 360 Elite Coaching Package, you're not just getting another course that's just going to sit on the shelf. You're actually getting a complete support system designed to walk you through it step by step throughout the entire transformation. You're going to get 6 full months of access to our private Facebook group where you can connect with others on the same healing journey and receive consistent daily support. So if you have over 70 questions, not a big deal, you're going to get answers. You'll have unlimited access to our expert team made up of people who personally walked through what you're experiencing right now, and they know exactly what it takes to create those real lasting changes. So you're never going to feel stuck or alone because we're going to be here for you every single step of the way. Now, in addition, you're going to receive 1 full year of access to our complete training course. And that means you can move through the material at your own pace while still receiving support you need along the way. So what you're going to get is 7 powerful modules, and they're little videos that you can watch so you can learn about all this. And you get 6 printable workbooks and a step-by-step tools designed to help you take action and experience transformation from the inside out. You're also going to receive an onboarding call to personalize your brain rewiring plan. And this way, we're going to make sure that you're set up for success. So when you get this call, we're going to go over exactly what's keeping you stuck. We're going to customize a brain rewiring plan for you and help you walk you through your goals and challenges to help you map out a clear, confident path forward. Now, the good news is that we do have a few spots on the calendar already set up to connect with you personally, and it's absolutely free. So we will talk with you about how you can get started using these strategies right away and begin getting results. So you can go ahead and schedule a free call at the link below, or go to www.brainrewiring360.com, and we will be so happy to help you. So if you're ready to get healthy and start living again, my team and I are here to walk you through the entire process so you know exactly what to do. So just so you know, we've helped thousands of people just like you all over the world reclaim their energy, their life, and we'd love to help you too. So simply just schedule a call and we will help you customize a plan tailored to your symptoms and your goals so you can get healthy and start living again. This completely free brain rewiring strategy call is your first step towards real lasting change. And I truly can't wait to meet you. Just a heads up, this is a Zoom call. So if you'd rather not be on camera, no problem at all. You're absolutely welcome to keep the camera off if you're more comfortable with that. That's absolutely fine. We're here to just talk with you about your goals and how to help you move forward. And if you have a supportive spouse or family member, it can be really helpful if you have them to join the call too. Because I know in my journey, my family was very supportive and they really did appreciate having all the details. And yes, we're going to go over the price as well. Since our packages are completely customized, some people do prefer one-on-one support while others are more independent. We're going to actually customize a plan to fit your exact needs. So we'll also take time to uncover what's possibly keeping you stuck and why you haven't made the progress that you've hoped for. And then we're going to determine if we're a good fit to work with one another. And most importantly, this call is 100% pressure-free. It's simply a space to explore if we're the right fit to support your healing. But no matter what, we're going to put you on a winning game plan to get you set up for success. So with this call, you're going to walk away with clarity, hope, and real action steps. So if we are a good fit, we're going to walk you through what that looks like to get started with us a little bit deeper on your recovery journey. So our goal is to help you finally get your life back, because I've lived through this, my family's lived through this, and I know what it feels like to struggle without answers. You don't have to stay stuck. You can feel like yourself again, and that's my mission. It's exactly why I created Brain Rewiring 360. So if you're ready, don't wait. We're definitely here to help you. So I'm really excited. During your free recovery call, we're going to dive deep into your current health challenges and see exactly what's going on and what's keeping you stuck. And then we're going to explore what's possible for your health over the next 90 days and beyond. Most importantly, we're going to uncover the root patterns and thought loops that might be hindering your progress. And finally, move forward with confidence. We'll create a simple, personalized 3-step plan just for you. You'll leave the call with a clear roadmap and next action steps. so that you're not feeling stuck or in survival mode. So yeah, I'm really excited for this call, and let's simply do this together. Get your brain rewiring plan going. My team and I are here to walk you through step by step so you know exactly what to do. I'm super excited. I have all these clients all over the world. They email me every single day how grateful they are and that they took control of their health with the brain rewiring. And now they're living a full life with no restrictions. They can eat what they want. They can exercise, work full time. But yeah, I'm really excited. So just go to www.brainrewiring360.com, click on the link, schedule a call. My team and I are here to help you, walk you through step by step so you know exactly what to do. And you're not going to be left wondering about what to do. I'm beyond excited for what's ahead for you. So yeah, just go ahead and click a call, and I look forward. I want to thank you so much. God bless you, and I look forward to helping you. And I hope you guys enjoyed the masterclass, and I look forward to speaking with you. Have a blessed day.